shocking story tonight.
One of the more bizarre court appearances.
And all this violence has prompted one Central Arkansas mother who lost 3 of her children to gun violence to speak out.
Malik Hussein's story made the headlines more than 2 decades ago.
And what is her message?
She says it's time for people to forgive Ashley, and it's a powerful message coming from a mother.
Heartless and cruel. That's what many of you are saying.
Police call it, quote, beyond heartless.
In fact, those teenagers filmed the entire episode, even mocking the man as he was drowning.
Cold, callous, reprehensible, all of the above.
For these kids to just do what they did and video and be laughing about it, it's just mind-boggling.
It's still so disturbing that those teens could be so callous as to watch a man drown. Thanks for your report.
One of the more bizarre court appearances that we have seen. A Gwinnett County mother accused of stabbing to death her 4 children and their father, smiling and gesturing.
The mother accused of murdering her 4 children and husband is planning to represent herself.
I just went cold. I couldn't believe that what had happened.
She says they were a happy family.
One daughter survived and is in the hospital.
Lone surviving daughter from a hospital bed tells a very different, disturbing story.
Romero said she also saw her mother cut herself. Romero said before Martinez cut her, she told her to forgive her and that she loved her.
And the documents show the family went on a trip to Savannah just before the murders. Martinez said she felt a devil-like spirit there and wanted to go home.
Martinez said the truth will come to life. The documents show Romero said Martinez went on to say she was going to the sky to see Jesus.
It is one of the best-selling books around the world, if not the best-selling. I would imagine
it's actually the best-selling book of all time.
Of all time, right. And now a new museum is looking to bring the Bible's history to life.
You know, interesting fact, because there are probably more Bibles in circulation today than at any time in history. Yet, at the same time, the understanding of the Bible is at its lowest time in history.
Questions tonight. The city of Deltona says it has received a complaint over one commissioner reading Bible verses during meetings.
I read scripture and I see something that talks to my heart, and I feel that others should hear it. I share it in the meeting. I don't expound on it. I just read it and move on.
It's the most impactful book in the world, no matter which views you have of the Bible. It's the most banned book in the world. It's the most debated book in the world. It's the most burnt book in the world. And today it's still the best-selling book in the world.
An associate professor who says he's not trying to change individual beliefs.
Nice bibliography here. Wow.
Spends his time here researching one of the best-selling books of all time, the Bible.
Also, its influence on world history, culture, science, art, and literature.
After years of hard work, lots of research, 50 names made it on his final list.
There were all these little pieces of evidence around, sitting as I said, like dollar bills in a park.
But with ancient tablets about Nebuchadnezzar II, the king of Babylon, it's solid.
You've given up at least 5 runs in 3 straight games. Do you worry about being demoted at all?
Have you ever heard the story of the fiery furnace with Nebuchadnezzar? It's Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and they got thrown into the fiery furnace. And Nebuchadnezzar actually turned the heat up 7 times. And there's a reason that God let that happen, because He takes the most impossible scenarios to be given Him the glory and to show His mighty power. That's all I got for you.
Now, when you were talking about that discovery,
oh yeah, it's too dramatic.
Why does that make you so emotional?
It's the drama of of confirmation, of realizing we have a new piece of evidence, and it echoes, it reverberates all the way back.
One section is devoted to the Bible in America, its influence on presidents and the Founding Fathers.
Do I listen to man or do I listen to what God put in my heart? I'm going to listen to what God put in my heart to do. We're all a family. God bless.
This whole idea of the founding of America and how based it is on the Bible. And I want to read you something from Benjamin Franklin, his Constitutional Convention address on June 28, 1787. He said, "We have been assured in the sacred writings that except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it." That's a direct quote from the Bible.
Right.
And he said, "I firmly believe that without his incurring aid, meaning God's aid, we shall succeed in this political building no better than the builders of Babel."
Is the dependency the Founding Fathers had on the Bible, really not necessarily based upon their theological belief, because some were had all different titles attached to them, but they did understand the principle that this country was founded upon these biblical principles, Judeo-Christian principles, and the further that we attached ourselves to them, to Benjamin Franklin's quote, the better God would sort of bless or have His hand upon us.
Illinois, with every week that passes, the death toll seems to rise.
Is expected to increase.
When we hear the term ceasefire, we usually think of conflict zones in the Middle East, don't we? But people in one US city, Baltimore, it's only 50 kilometers from the capital, are calling right now for a truce.
They don't even got a reason, they killing people for fun. I don't know if I want to have a daughter or a son.
So to ask for 72 hours of peace, it sounds a little bit crazy right now. We are at a space in our humanity where every 19 hours people are experiencing what it's like to take another life.
Because this world ain't safe.
She told me now, with all the recent gun violence, she thinks she knows why she's still alive. Because it's to teach people to forgive and to try to stop the gun violence.
Too oftentimes in this fast-paced world, we're always thinking about what's tomorrow, what's next week, what's next Sunday. And so let me share this with you real quick. What does anxiety about the future bring you but only sorrow upon sorrow? Sufficient for the day is the evil thereof. It is vain and useless to conceive either grief or joy for future things, which perhaps shall never come to pass. But it's the nature of man to be deluded with such imaginations. It is the sign of a soul as yet weak to be so easily drawn away by the suggestions of the enemy. For he cares not whether it be with things true or false that he abuses or deceives you, whether he overthrow you with the love of things present or the fear of things to come. Believe in me and trust in my mercy. Believe in Jesus, believe in God, and trust in my mercy. So
But it's not religion, organization, it's relationship.
I mean, you just heard him say, listen, I have all the success in the world, but really it's my relationship with Christ and my faith that is the foundation, because one day he will retire, one day he will get old, one day all this, and there'll be a whole new team. We'll know none of those guys, and it all passes. So time goes by, but the time on earth is this short. You can imagine a rope going around the earth as the length of your existence. Your time on earth is like that much to that rope. This is so quick.
In humility, we think we can we have all the answers. You type it in on Google and just get the answer. How do you do it? But it's really that humility.